we've seen the next section is around site administration. Now, I don't want to be appearing to gloss over this piece, but this is the part of FreeToast Host that lends itself best to exploring, reading the screens and figuring out how you want your site to be set up. And that, so this is going to cover a few pieces about what you can do, how it's structured. It's not going to go into any great detail unless Jane has got something that we definitely need to know about where we are. I'm not going to cover all of the modules either. But what I am going to do is to share my screen. And I may as well go in there. I can log in as site administrator. Now, I notice that I don't have directly the Launch Admin console. I only see that when I'm logged in either as a member or the site administrator. And when, as Jane's demonstrated a few times earlier, when you log in as a member, oh, hang on, I'm in as a member. All right, we'll go in as login as site admin. Club number and whatever your password is for that administrative site. Check that I haven't got my caps lock on. Better. Now, first thing you'll see is this is a communication from the site developer, and yes, you'll notice that Barry occasionally has fun with his emails, but you've got two options: keep them or clear them. I generally keep them around for a while as a reminder, but that's entirely up to you. So we've come back to the main site, and now I've got this Launch Admin Console magic button, which we've seen before. I'll bring it up large again. Right, there are two levels of administrative access. One is the module level, and each module is divided into several tabs or sections. So basic website setting, you can work on what's on your homepage, what's on your meeting information page, what's on your appearance, what all your pages look like. Your floater messages, that's the accordion that you see up and down. We'll just briefly go into there, and here's our floater messages.
They're the yellow strips across the top of the team, and they only appear once a day.
Right. Okay. I'll go back to all of this I'm going to leave for you to explore. And note at the bottom, you've got your save and your close. If you've changed something and you don't want to keep that change, you just close the page. If you've changed something and you want to keep it, then yes, you click save, then click close, and you'll get the blame for changing it. Access settings, we've already seen what officers are allowed to do what, and you'll notice most of these pages have got scroll bars. Please use them. Social links, you've already seen what's your Facebook site, what's your Twitter site, etc., etc. This is how you set up your meeting information. This is your basics of what your website looks like. We've got other modules. Right. Where am I going to go into? I'm going to go into meeting agenda settings briefly, and I'm going to go into membership management, because there are a couple of things in here that. Now, first thing, this is who's in your club. And remember earlier I said that members who have not opted in to receive emails from the club have strikeouts. That will persist for 30 days, and all they have to do is reply to an email that is sent automatically by the site to that person, to that address, and instructing them how to log in if they wish to do so. Now we'll see that also, and if you want to add a new member, you do it at this top line here: name, email address, and phone. You notice that we've also got the ability to, if we have a couple of new members coming up and we don't really know where when they're going to be doing icebreakers or when they're going to be joining, but we want to reserve a slot for them, you can set them up as new members without email. So that can appear on the agenda, and it can be altered as you wish. Also, notice that some of these members are club officers, not necessarily all of them. Currently, this club does not have a vice president PR, does not have a formal vice president membership, or a formal secretary, or a formal sergeant at arms. We've just, in fact, this club shouldn't be operating really. We need a secretary. All right, but you set up, as you've seen already, you can set up one or more membership officer roles against each member, if you so wish. This is probably not the story we told to TI, so we need to occasionally check, probably every 6 months, when you've got people dropping off. Now, membership tools. This is quite an important area. If you select a person that I want to, let's say myself, there's all sorts of things. This is not the only list. You've got on your tabs, you've got all sorts of additional lists, and you can create custom groups. You can make this as complex or as simple as you want. I suggest that you make it simple. Guests, maybe. Former members, certainly. Friends is good. However you want to set things up. And you also have a new member welcome. This is a default email that gets sent to the member when they opt in to receiving emails from the club. And you'll see here, you can move them up to other lists. You can send the basic email, send the new member welcome, resend the opt-in ones. Oh, you sent me one and I lost it. You can do all sorts of things, but also you have membership reports. And this can be quite useful because two in here, members and their mentors, mentors and their proteges. It looks at your mentoring program from above and from below, if you want to think of it in that way. And this is the best way I have found of keeping your mentoring relationships year on year as your vice president education changes, because all you have to do is say, look, this is where the new guy finds it. These are just simple reports that show how your mentoring program is structured within your club, and I suggest that you have a look at them and use them, because to me they are very, very useful. They're simple, which appeals to me, and they're persistent across years, which really appeals to me. So that's the things that you can do with membership management. What else have we got? Just have to move everybody out of the way again. Right. Notice we've gone into a module that's not the website settings, so we need to close it. Email and contact forms. This is just the format of what it looks like. Meeting agenda settings. It's the other one I want to look at here. This is where the administrator can set up meeting information. You can select a template. We've got standard meeting template, and we've got agendas for 1 or 2 contests. And these are just standard format agendas, which we'll go into setting up a little bit later on. And notice if you meet online or at a venue, you can select your what venue that you that's going to show on your agenda. This is what appears on the calendar. And then you come into each of the role and agenda items, setting these up. The important thing about this is all these little checkboxes here. If that's not checked, then you've probably got something like the Sergeant at Arms, who's set for a year, opens the meeting, or the President welcomes everybody to the club, that sort of thing. If it's a speech, that's fine for this particular role. And can I get that? No, I can't get it down anymore. And role should appear on the printed agenda, meeting agenda, and several others. And again, this is an exploring bit. And again, coming down, we've got our save and close. All of this is covered in the basic system documentation at www.toastmastersclubs.org. So I'll close that. What else did I say we were going to look at? That's about it. It's a very, very quick whistle-stop tour of the administrative settings. And this is where I strongly suggest that you have a look at the others and see what they are. If you want to set up a demonstration site to see what the effects are, great, you can do that, as we've seen. So I'll close this and just log out, because I don't need to be the site admin in case I make any mistakes. I can make enough mistakes as a member. The main thing is that you find that, oh, I did this and I didn't, but it still hasn't changed anything. Well, did you actually save it? Jane, anything to add to that whistle-stop tour?
Just on your final point about something hasn't changed, it's not looking how I expected. Right at the very bottom of every page, I think, you've got to scroll right down to the very bottom. There's a link that says, click here to reload website from server.
Right.
Because sometimes, yes, browsers and websites and so forth can do strange things.
In particular, they show old versions of the pages, and they don't update the pages because they think they don't need to. And this one says, I don't care what you think, do it. So that's always an option if you're sure that if you go back into the admin functions and yes, I did save it, but did you reload the website? It doesn't happen often with Free Toast hosts, I have to say, but it does happen. It happens more often with the Toastmasters International site after an upgrade. I think that's really the only pitfall that and thank you, Jane. I've learned something. I normally close and reopen my browser to do that.
Neville's got a question.